Hey guys, Zephyr here, and I am very happy to announce that I am doing another giveaway, and this time I will be giving away the full set of the brand new Hot Wheels Silver Series Acceleracers. But this time, you will have not one, but two chances to win. That is because I have two complete sets of these brand new Acceleracer Silver Series to give away. And as a bonus, and also just to make sure they survive shipping, I am also going to be throwing in these Hot Wheels protector cases. Here's how you can enter for your chance to win. Email zephyrprojectgiveaways@gmail.com with the subject saying giveaway entry, with the message saying your YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, or whatever platform you're seeing this on's username. Spam will be disqualified. Only one entry per person per giveaway. The first winner will be chosen at random and revealed on December 31st. This will be a two-part giveaway, with the first half of the giveaway being exclusive to the US only. This giveaway will be active from now till December 1st, with the second giveaway being opened up to the entire world and beginning on January 2026. Including the US, so if you didn't win, you will have another chance in the second giveaway. So make sure you're subscribed and following with notifications turned on, so that way you're notified when the winner is revealed. Hello Internet, my name is Zephyr, and I am very excited to do this not-so-quick review on the brand new Transformers Hot Wheels collab figures. The packaging looks really sick, and I like that they're even packaged in a bubble similar to actual Hot Wheels cars. Speaking of Hot Wheels, resting on top of each of their respective packaging are their 1/64 die-cast counterparts. But of course, they look even better when they're out of their packaging. And if I'm being honest, Hasbro could not have picked two better cars for these Hot Wheels Transformers collab figures. Starting out with TwinMill, as I have a bit of a bias towards this car because TwinMill is actually one of my all-time favorite Hot Wheels. Being a little bit nitpicky, the proportions are a little bit off, but that can be forgiven considering that they had to figure out how to cram an entire robot into this car. But of course, because this is a Hot Wheels collab, it just wouldn't be complete if they didn't do the thing that Hot Wheels are known for, and that is, of course, having excellent rolling wheels. That's because the wheels for both of these figures are pinned on. Here he is next to his actual 1/64 counterpart for scale, and while this is not the exact same version of TwinMill, it's really cool seeing these two next to each other. Now it's time to talk about one of the most iconic Hot Wheels cars of all time, Boneshaker. They absolutely nailed it with Boneshaker, and they really do the car justice because every little detail that you would expect from the real car is made it onto this toy. Spinning this figure around, and it does really feel weird to call this a figure because looking at it, it does not feel like it would transform. That's how much love and care they put into these Transformers collabs, and it is especially prevalent with Boneshaker. What makes this figure even more unique is that this is one of the few open-top Transformers with an actual interior. And pay attention to the interior because it does a really cool trick later in the transformation. And of course, just to make sure they do Hot Wheels justice, they pinned on the wheels, making sure that they roll excellently. And of course, here is Boneshaker next to himself in 1/64 die-cast form for scale. As you can see, it's not 100% the same as its die-cast version, as the Transformers missing the little skull on the doors, and even the real car has this, but it's still close enough. Speaking of the real car, I actually wanted to touch on his accessory for a sec, because I know a lot of people are questioning as to what this is. This is actually the gear shifter for the car. As you can see, it plugs inside the interior of the car, and it's made to replicate the comedically long gear shifter that the real-life car has. I really appreciate that little attention to detail, and it's that little thing that makes the figure even more worthwhile. And since I want to help people out, when it comes to TwinMill's flames, they are somewhat oriented to go in a specific way. That's because the flames are slightly curved to go around the back wheels. And finally, here they are in their vehicle modes next to some actual Transformers for size comparisons. Getting into transformation, I'm going to be starting off with TwinMill. And the first thing you want to do with TwinMill is to remove his engines. Yes, to transform TwinMill, you have to parts form. It is for a reason that you will see later, but before you set them off to the side, go ahead and spin the scoop around. Now getting into the actual transformation, you are going to want to lift up the canopy or the cockpit of the car. Just lift it up and spin it around 180. Once you've made clearance, you can now take the back and sides of the car and rotate them down giving you clearance to extend the legs. Once these pieces are out of the way, you are going to want to come up here and gently loosen up the legs and use the double hinge to bring them down into place. From here, you can now split the legs. That's because we need to get the feet out. So bring the feet out, rotate them in this direction, and flip out the heel spur. I'm going to flip out the heel spur first and then rotate facing forward. And that's because this little notch is going to go inside that groove. And that is going to complete the legs. From here, you're going to want to rotate the torso 180, so that way the extended canopy is going to be facing the crotch. We're now going to work on his arms, so go ahead and split the arms, bring them down, and rotate the shoulders 180, so that way the wheels are pointing up towards the sky. And the head came packaged backwards for some reason, so just spin that around. You do not need to spin it back for transformation, you could just leave it like that. Now, we're going to come to the arms. I recommend trying to flip his fist out first. This will make it easier to pry the rest of the arm out and just bring them down into place. Finally, with the arms into place, you're going to want to come to the canopy and you're going to want to take this little blue section, just rotate that and make sure it clicks inside the canopy, and you could finally push this into the chest. It doesn't really peg in or anything, it just sort of soft clicks into place. And you're almost done, because now is the most important step, attaching his little engine / flamethrower attachments to his arms. They attach super easy, but it can be a bit tricky to get on. That's because they have a little slot and a groove inside the engine piece that just clip onto the arms like so. But once you have them on, that is TwinMill complete in his robot mode. And this guy actually has some really insane articulation, and you could kind of cheese his articulation thanks to his double hinge that he has in his legs. Here he is next to Devastation Sideswipe for robot mode size comparison, and they are both about the same size. But now, bringing in Boneshaker for his transformation, you are going to want to start by taking his side exhaust and rotating them down like so. This will now allow you to untab the entire canopy section and take the entire back of the car and flip it up and over itself to create the legs. Remember what I said about the interior of the car doing a really cool trick? Well, that's because it's going to hide away and make up the robot's feet. And you're going to want to do that by splitting the legs, taking the seats, and rotating them 180 degrees to make the heels for the robot. Once you've done that for both sides, you're going to want to take that little back section, flip that inside, and then you could take the tailgate of the car, push that in, make sure it's flush, and push the tailgate of the car in, and there you have both legs of the robot complete. Now coming up to the torso, you're going to want to again push the little side pipes out of the way, and you're going to want to untab the front wheels and just move them out of the way. That's because we're now going to work on the arms, but first we got to untab the skull from the front of the car, and this should give us enough clearance to start rotating and bringing out the arms. Use the hinge to rotate the arm all the way up and make sure it pegs into that small little peg up there. Once the shoulders are pegged into place, it's as simple as just extending the arms, straightening them out, and flipping out the fists. But before I finish the arms, you're going to want to ab crunch this entire thing down on itself, and this will reveal the head. Rotate the head around. On my copy, it's super stiff. As you can see, I'm fighting just to get it into place. And then finally, bring up the skull, rotate the arms down, rotate them into place, and just flip out the fists. For some finishing touches, just take the side pipes and rotate them back so that way they're hidden and out of the way. And with that, you are done, and your transformation for Boneshaker is complete. He has really good articulation, and in his robot mode, his massive gear shifter kinda acts as like a big clubbing weapon. Though, yeah, it does kinda look like something else. Spinning these figures around in their robot mode, starting with TwinMill, that's because he looks great from the front, but as we spin him around, he is very open and hollow, which is quite disappointing. His car mode is definitely where he shines the most because his robot mode is mid at best. But the figure that really shines the most out of these two is definitely Boneshaker. He has a really solid and well-built robot mode. I like how his side pipes kind of look like wings in his robot mode, and the seat speaking up the heel spurs is really clever. Something that does worry me just a little bit though is if I take a look at the figure's chest, it has the nice little Hot Wheels logo painted on right there, but because of this figure's head articulation, I worry that this will scratch and get removed over time. Speaking of articulation, I'm going to quickly go over the articulation. That's because TwinMill has rotation at the fist, a pretty decent elbow bend, rotation in the bicep. He can rotate his shoulders all the way. A pretty decent range of motion outwards, but not good inwards. He has a full range of motion for the torso, but when it comes to his head, it is not that good, and TwinMill's head is also very stiff, which is quite strange because his head is on a ball joint, so you would think his head would go back quite significantly, but it does get stopped by those little nubs. He could kick forwards that far, backwards that far, and he does have a very, very soft ratchet for his outwards kick, which allows to go that far. He has a really good knee joint, but as I showed earlier, if you slightly mistransform him, you can actually utilize that secondary joint and have an even higher knee if you need it. Rotation just below the knee as you just saw, and of course he does have ankle pivot. His feet are on ball joints though, so you can actually articulate his feet ever so slightly. Moving on to Boneshaker's articulation, he has no wrist swivel. However, he does have rotation in the bicep. He can bend his elbow about that far, and he can't really bend it back. He can rotate his arm about that far, and he can't bring it in at all. You can bring these out if you want to and make them look like wings. However, he does shine in the head articulation department. That's if you can actually get it to rotate because, again, like I said, mine is very stiff. Getting the arms out of the way, that's because he has a full 360 range of motion. He does have... Actually, he does not have an ab crunch, but he does have a very good forwards, front, and back kick. He can do the full splits. He has an excellent bend at the knee, going well past 90. And one of my favorite gimmicks is that the seat/heel of the robot is actually the ankle rocker joints. Here they are in their robot modes for one last size comparison, and they are all pretty much the exact same height. Ever since they first announced these Hot Wheels Transformers figures, I've been patiently waiting, and the wait was well worth it because these two are really, really cool. Here's to hoping that Hasbro and Mattel continue to do these Transformers Hot Wheels collabs because there is so much potential for cars that they could use to make into Transformers. For example, the Diora 2. This car is so iconic that Chip Foose was commissioned to make it in real life, so if they continue this collab, it has to be chosen for one of these Hot Wheels Transformers. But now it's time for you to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of these Transformers collab figures. Do you like them? Are you gonna buy them? Like the video if you liked the video, and most importantly, subscribe as it greatly helps out, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching.